was true from a certain point of view.
A prophecy that misread could have been.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Unlearn what you have learned.
Tonight, we look at the frightening experiences of ordinary people whose lives were turned upside down by their beliefs.
Help support this channel financially and help us grow. You can click the subscribe button, click the bell, and you're going to get notifications. You can click the thumbs up. You can click in the comments. You can share with your friends on social media. At the end of my videos, you're going to see recommended videos, and thank you so much for your support.
There was going to be no more criminality, no more drugs, no more sadness. Everybody was going to be happy. It was freezing cold. It was January, and I was given a pickaxe and told to go dig a hole. We were financially ruined, and my marriage was ruined, and my family was ruined.
Scientologists will consider that Scientology is more important than their lives, it's more important than their families, it's more important than having a roof over their head, it's more important than food, it's more important than everything, and that's always a dangerous thing.
It was my first love, and I was young. He seemed to have the answers to all these questions, and he was so certain that he had all the answers. He knew, and Scientology would explain everything. I honestly thought we were going to make everybody sane, and there was going to be no more criminality, no more drugs, no more sadness. Everybody was going to be happy. And my parents told me it was a cult, but I didn't believe my parents because parents don't know anything. You know, you are instantly cut off from the outside world. You know, you have no TV, you have no phone. Your calls are monitored, your communication with your family is monitored. Every time you have a question, you get an answer from them, their answer. And after a while, you're only getting their answers and your reality changes completely. You really do go from this euphoric, I'm out of my body, this is amazing, I can do anything, and then the next minute you're sort of, well, you know, I'm not really getting this, and it's because I'm a bad person, I'm not very ethical, and I don't deserve to, it goes like that. We washed our clothes in the bathtub, but the living conditions were terrible. I mean, rice and beans were supposed to be a punishment because we weren't working hard enough. Not getting paid was a punishment because we weren't working hard enough. Beans and rice then became dried porridge and milk powder mixed with water. Sleeping on dirty old mattresses in crowded rooms. I don't know what I was thinking, except if we weren't so lazy and undeserving, we could, you know, we could save the world and eat proper food.
People don't understand why people don't just leave, and there are many reasons for that. You've gotten involved, you've invested yourself. Your mind has been made to believe that this group has the truth and is the best place for you to be.
Yeah, that's a good question. Why don't you walk away? You can't. You know, you've joined this group and you've made this promise and you've signed a billion-year contract, and you kind of feel like you're betraying everybody else, basically. I would beg for time off. Can I go home? Can I go see my mother? No. You can't be replaced. Your work is too important. My mom had been saying, come home for Christmas. So I ran away. I actually hitchhiked from East Grinstead to Derby. Spent Christmas and then called the organization full of blame, shame, and regret. I was trained to supervise the courses. I mean, a Scientology supervisor doesn't really do anything other than make sure people are reading their Scientology materials, because nothing can be altered. Everything L. Ron Hubbard wrote has to come in its pure form from L. Ron Hubbard. Celebrity Center, you were in front of the public, so we had nice clothes and we got fed, which was really good. So for me, that was a big step up. And the uniforms got washed. We didn't have to wash the uniforms in bathtubs with soap, because it probably wouldn't look good to the celebrities. I had gone off to Celebrity Center and started flirting with a guy that worked there. And, you know, within a few weeks, it was, you know, it had already become an ethics matter. You guys need to get married. It's going too far. You know, you're holding hands, you need to get married.
Groups will often say to individuals who you can sleep with, whether you can have a child or not. There's even examples of where they've made people have abortions. And this is just a way of completely controlling the individual and basically saying to the person, we own you.
So we got married, and I was on the pill, and woohoo, I found out I'm pregnant. So I went to the ethics office and I said, hey, look, I've gotten pregnant. Bang! Just like I had committed the ultimate sin. And the next thing that came was, so what's the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics here? Like, are you asking me to have an abortion? Well, what's the greatest good? You know, it was, yes, basically, yes, the right thing to do is have an abortion. That was made very, very clear to me. And when I said, absolutely not, you know, I'm going to talk to my husband about this. I mean, because that is your first line of support, your husband. No, I wasn't allowed to talk to him. I didn't see him till like maybe 10 o'clock at night. And he came home and he said, I know what you did. You did this deliberately to get me, my own husband. I can't believe you were so evil. You're on your own, you know, you've committed this awful sin and you're on your own. So that's what happened when I got pregnant. Everybody I looked up to and respected told me I was a criminal. The head of the organization told my husband I was a leech. Yeah, I believed it. I bought into it. I had the abortion to prove I was a good person and I wasn't this evil Satan that everybody was saying I was. I murdered a child. That's the way I look at it. And it will forever live with me that I murdered a child. And that's the way I see it. And I will never forgive myself for that. And I will never be able to write it. As an idea is like, you're a damaged piece, you're not doing well. You're going to go off here and you're going to get some spiritual counseling. And everybody who's there is going to work together. And then you're going to come back when you're all fixed. It's supposed to be like 2-3 months. Actually, there's a prison camp. You put on there, you're not allowed to communicate with anybody else outside of this group. You have to call everybody sir. You're the lowest of the low. You wear black boiler suits, you have to run everywhere. You have to receive, I think it's 5 hours of counseling a day. I wasn't allowed to use the phone. I didn't have a phone, I wasn't allowed to use a public phone. We were sent on little backboards with wheels underneath the kitchens and scraped grease amongst cockroaches and silverfish and rats. That was what I experienced. Other people had to climb inside skips and clean them with toothbrushes. I'd met Placido, but I'd agreed that I was very bad and I wouldn't be with him, but he wasn't accepting of that. He was basically dropping threats. You know, if you don't let her out, I'm going to get a chopper in there, I'm going to come and bust her out. So that's the point where they let me go. When they were under that much pressure, like, you know, literally, let her go or I'm going to send a helicopter. That worked. I messed up, I'm bad because Scientology's good. And Scientology has the only solution for mankind. And I need to protect that and nourish it. And if I fail because I'm being selfish, because I want certain things in life, that is my failing. And you know, who am I to want to have kids and a marriage and a happy life? So I had 3 kids, and I did my amends for leaving the Sea organization, and I said I'm really, really sorry, and paid them lots of money, and I paid my freeloader debt for all the amazing things I'd received as a staff member, $50,000, and then you know, it was $10,000 for an intensive of this, and $10,000 for repair, and $10,000 for this course. More money, next course. Get you through the course as fast as you can. Buy the next one. It's all very urgent. You have to do it now. And it's very vital that you go to the registrar and you hand your credit card. And if you don't have the money, find it, borrow it, take a loan. That makes it even harder to turn back when you've invested so much. We were financially ruined. And my marriage was ruined. And my family was ruined. And I went, this is not working out too well. All of a sudden, everything made sense. And I was out, just like that, just because I disobeyed the rule about not going on the internet. You create a prison in your own mind. Like, your mind becomes the prison. There's nobody stopping you walking out, but your mind, you become your own prison guard.
It's only after a period of time when you've had the chance to doubt and think about what you're doing and it's like a pressure cooker, it builds up slowly over time, sometimes over many years before people then have the courage to leave and leave what they've devoted themselves to.
If you're declared a suppressive person, you are basically excommunicated from the church, denied all rights and privileges, which include the rights and privileges of having friends or having a family or having a job. So anything that you had in your life that was connected to Scientology is gone. For 2 years it was hell. It was hell. And I was barely keeping it together, and I was only keeping it together for the kids. There was at one point I felt suicidal because I'd lost everything. I'd lost my friends, I'd lost my marriage, you know, utter mess. And the kids were in a state, and I felt responsible. The point I decided to fight back was where the kids got targeted. You know, my 7-year-old was excommunicated because I was excommunicated, and her friends disconnected from her, and nobody in Scientology would have anything to do with this.
Re-entering society is very hard because there's a huge gap in your life that you don't want to explain to people. You've not had a career, your CV is kind of empty, you have no money, you have no friends, you have to remake your relationship with your family, and it's a whole process of rebuilding, really from the ground up.
They've known nothing but the cultic experience, where relationships are very, very tightly controlled. They've been very isolated from society, and their voices haven't been much heard.
The kids had lost everything, including their pets, when we moved out here and we ran away and the marriage ended and everything. And I got the ferrets because the ferrets used to make the kids laugh. I thought it was time to bring laughter back into the house, so we went out to the shelter and we got 3 ferrets, and sure enough, within 3 days there was squeals of laughter in the house again. It was 2 years of hell, and now we're all flourishing and doing really well. The kids have jobs, they're doing well at school, they're happy. I'm happy, you know, have a normal life. My experience in Scientology, what did it do to me? It made me a stronger person. It made me a wiser person, and it gave me the ammunition to fight back. We fight back by exposing the abuses, telling people what really happens so they don't get any more people.
Where are you from?
Oh, I used to be a Scientologist. I used to actually be a Sea Org member.
What's your name?
Samantha Domingo.
Thank you, Samantha.
What's your name?
And then we do the naughty stuff, testing their security.
So if I were to walk on to the church property right now, I would be met with very panicked people, such as the paranoia. When I look back on things I believed in the church and things I did, I see a completely different person. I don't know that person. So asking me, you know, how did I feel about the abortion, how did I feel when I was in the Sea Org, I was just a completely different person. I mean, I wasn't a person.
I encourage you, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share this video with others and this channel with others. It helps every time you do that. It actually helps the channel out financially, and it helps us to grow and get in front of others. If you want to connect with us, we invite you to join the conversation, facebook.com/People of the Free Gift. And until next time, this is Jason from People of the Free Gift, signing off.